welcome back to Gran Turismo 7, and today we are bringing back one of my favorite video series I ever did, Racing Modified. That is named after the Gran Turismo 1, 2, and 5 feature, one of my favorite features in GT history. And we're bringing it back with a pretty special car, not this 911 RSR, but the Jaguar XJ220. Finally got a hold of one of these. I've been looking forward to doing this build for a long time. Just, oh, that sound. I love turbo 6-cylinders so much. So this is the first time I've been able to do Racing Modified in VR, I believe, which is really cool. I'm excited to do that for you guys. We're going to go take a peek at this car from the VR angle. We're going to go to GT Cafe for this. I do this spot a lot, but I just like it. It's very open and airy, and I just love coming here to do the kind of walk arounds of the car. Just see all the details of it. See that muffler in the back. And then, of course, that interior view, if I can find the right button. So, pretty nice interior view. A very driver-focused setup here. Right side handbrake, which is interesting. And a mile-per-hour gauge cluster is really a rare thing for me to see. Never knew XJ220s had this kind of half sunroof type deal. And of course, our twin turbo V6 in the rear. This thing is so sick. I'm so excited to mess with this car. Had to free up some space in the garage and sell a couple cars to get the extra bit of cash needed to do this. I did not feel like grinding anymore today. As you guys can see, I already have some mileage. Not a whole lot of mileage, but a little bit of mileage. I'm just filming a couple videos. I filmed... this is the fourth video I filmed today. So first things first, we're getting the livery for this car. We're going to go ahead and download the design. If you guys know me, y'all know how much I love the old Gran Turismo games. Y'all know where this is going. Y'all know where this is going. I don't know which button actually functions as the R2 in this wheel. We've got to get the LM race car. I'm looking for hopefully the best livery of the LM race car. I believe this one appears to be more in line with the GT2 side. Definitely doesn't look the same as the actual in-game car. We're gonna go with this one though, with the Gran Turismo logo on it. This is gonna be great though. I love this car. I love this whole thing. I'm so excited for this one. All right. Let's get to building. So we're gonna do as much as we can with this car. I don't know how much I'll be able to do on this budget. I think this should be enough money to build the car, but I could be surprised. We're going full race car, upgraded turbos, the ECU. Obviously got to get the anti-lag system installed, race exhaust. The whole kit and caboodle is going on this car. Got pads, headers, brakes, clutch. We are going to be doing our racing transmission in this car. I usually don't do this for Racing Modified, but I've noticed a lot of cars need it nowadays with the new physics. We're going to put some slicks on this car as well. Let's see what we've got here in the what is this, the ultimate category? All right, now we have some cash still to throw around. I wanted to get the main crux of this build done first. I just realized didn't do the before and after. The before. Whoops. Well, we're already here, and I can't really return the car back to stock, so we're just gonna go for it. Didn't think about that. That kind of ruins the video, but anyway, this will just be one of those weird one-off episodes that doesn't have a before lap. But we're gonna go ahead and throw our LM race car livery on. I'm tickled that I get to drive this car in the HDR. I did have some seat time with this thing back in the older Gran Turismo titles, and I love it. But I'm really excited to be able to drive this car in the modern era to an effect. No roll cage standard. And just because I prefer the... Well, I don't know, this headlights are already pretty yellow. I think I'll just leave that. It's already got a different grille on it. And I feel like the actual car had yellow brakes, but I'm going to leave the red brakes on. I feel so dumb that I forgot to do the before lap, but I guess I was just that excited to drive this car. So there'll be only one lap time on the board with it. which kind of blows, but it'll be fine. Just fine. All right, we are at Dragon Trail Gardens for our lap here with the fully built XJ220. I don't know where this car is going to sit. I don't think it's beating the GTR. And some of these cars are from outside of the Racing Modified series. The two cars that I would really like that are the top two right now are the GTR and the Taycan. I know the Ioniq sits here. Just ignore that one. The next one down from that series would be the TT with a 137. I think it's going to slot between those two. I would love to see it touch the Taycan and the Ioniq 5N's time, but I just don't necessarily know. So, anyway, one thing I am going to do, we're going to do some setting changes with it. I'm going to add a good bit of aero. This track does kind of utilize aero pretty well. Make it an even 150, and we'll bump this up to 350. That should get us a little bit more performance points. I'm going to stiffen up the suspension slightly, and we're going to drop the ride height about, let's do 10 millimeters. And bump up the dampers a slight bit. Kind of try to keep it a little bit oversteery, but not too oversteery. You know what I mean? Then obviously we're going to stiffen the springs up. Not quite to their max. We'll try this to start. That should be some headroom there. Oh, and we need to enable the anti-lag. Alright, that should be plenty for the setup. So 785 performance points. That puts it above both the Taycan and the Ioniq 5N, but not quite to the level of the GTR. So without further ado, let's get driving. Let's see what this Jaguar can do. I don't think my VR is centered very well. I will say the interior, the way it's laid out, makes it kind of hard for me to see the road. But it's so fast. 160 miles an hour off the rip there. Ooh, a little bit of a dirt drop there. Surprisingly, it does not drive like I expected it to in terms of throttle, like wheel spin. I fully expect this to drive like the F1500 TA does when it hits boost, but it really doesn't, surprisingly. I guess because it's twin turbo versus single turbo. A little bit of wheel spin there. A little bit of understeer there. On the brakes a good bit there. My favorite corner of the whole track. This massive A-pillar, which does reduce my visibility by quite a bit. This thing is awesome. This is definitely a meet your heroes kind of car. The brakes are leave a little bit to be desired here. But the driving dynamics are excellent. A 131.3, that I think does beat the Ioniq 5N, but definitely still nothing to dethrone the GTR. Get the anti-lag, holding the idle at 3,000 plus RPM. Look around the interior a little bit. Just, I believe that's boost right there. I want to see how bad is this thing light the tires up if I launch it. Oh yeah, big light up, little donut. See, child me loved this thing especially, so my childhood is feeling very good right now. Getting to see this thing in action. Oh, I love this car. All right, let's see how she did. I feel like I know it just took the #2 spot all time. Well, I think that's a good shot for a thumbnail. Well, very quickly. Oh, I like that a lot. That's be a good thumbnail. But this thing is definitely exactly what I thought it would drive. I mean, it just... The only thing that really let me down was the brakes. I was very unimpressed with the brakes. But I feel it's been a common thing, especially since moving to load cell. But it was so fast. Like, it's crazy. All in all, a really good car. And it does take the #2 spot all time of the Racing Modified leaderboard. It beats the Ioniq 5N by only a couple of tenths, surprisingly. If that doesn't tell you how good the Ioniq 5N with all the aero kit is, and it punches above its own weight, like, it's pretty impressive. But I think you guys know what we got to do next to close this one out. We're going to Road Atlanta to see where it stacks up on the Road Atlanta leaderboard. For those who have not watched Racing Modified before, any of my GT7 content before, Road Atlanta is the ultimate proving ground for me. It's where I take most of my cars because it is my best track. It's a track I drive the best at. It's a track that I've done thousands upon thousands of laps at. I've been globally ranked several times in various different games on this track. So, and it's also conveniently my home track. I live about an hour and a half away from Road Atlanta. Let's see, 785 performance points is going to put this thing around these GT500 cars in terms of performance point range. I don't expect it to punch weight with those or the RSR. I kind of expect it to be closer to the 118 range. Ahead of obviously the Ioniq 5N here. I think the lack of top speed on the back straight, if you guys watched my video where I admitted I was wrong about the Ioniq 5N, I mentioned in there that the top speed really hindered it on the straightaway. So it's probably going to shoot a mid 118 is what I expect it to run. So let's see what she does. All right, coming through 10A, 10B. So the brakes I gotta adjust to because I just, last video I just did those daily races, or the daily race with the RSR. So I'm used to the RSR's really good brakes. Oh, this is not a good start, but we'll rebound it. The visibility in the XJ220 is definitely less than stellar in VR. I definitely feel very claustrophobic. It's a nice interior, don't get me wrong. I love how it looks, but like, man, I feel like I'm struggling to see the road a little bit. Like, mostly just see everything. I'm not like in a bubble, that's what I'm trying to say. I can obviously see the road ahead of me, but like this A-pillar right here is just really hard to see. All right, let's see what she gets up to on the straightaway here. We are climbing past 180, 190 miles an hour. We're going to crest 200, almost 210 as we head down into 10A and 10B. I'm really surprised I made that braking zone. Obviously a huge adjustment in speed from the Ioniq 5 and stuff there. 116.4. It went way faster than I expected it to out here, which makes me happy. Did not expect that. It ran a 116. I totally thought it was going to be a 118 car all day long. I was like, I've got no faith this car will be that fast. So that, I believe, put it as one of the fastest cars under 800 performance points at the time. I don't know why these two are here. These are both 900 plus performance point cars, which means that overall it's in 4th place in this group, which is impressive that it beat a couple of GT500 level cars. Now these are also the old GT500 cars, so these were the faster of the GT500 era. So that makes me really happy to see the XJ220 towards the top end of that group. Obviously, overall, it is nowhere near the top 10. It's got to lose about a good like 10 seconds, 11 seconds to even be in the top 10, but it's not even remotely close to top 20 either. It's got to lose about 8 seconds to even touch the top 20, so that's crazy. But all in all, the XJ220, I'm going to give this car a 7 out of... Actually, I've ranked too many cars 6 out of 10 lately, so I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. The only thing holding it back from being better is I don't have a lot of confidence in the brakes, and the visibility in VR is awful. Like, the A-pillar really throws me off. I feel like I'm sat so far back in the car that I just don't feel right in terms of driving position, and that's just a personal thing. Obviously, if you take that out of account, it's an easy 9 out of 10 because of the brakes. But it's fast, it's controllable, it doesn't really skid about all that much. It sounds good, it looks good, it does everything it needs to do, and it's just definitely a meet your heroes car, and it's a very good meet your heroes car. This isn't one of those don't meet your heroes situations. So XJ220, absolutely excellent. Wish I had done a before lap with it, but we are going to remedy that in the future Racing Modified videos. So hope you guys are excited to see the Racing Modified series back. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.